So when we were discussing about the expectations part in the first session, so many of us had said that we would want to bring a balance between our personal life and our work life, and this is something that uh, you know majority of us struggle with, because we may be taught technical stuff in the school, in the college. We may be taught so many things, but this balance, this concept of how to take care of multiple things simultaneously and strike a balance between them, this is something which is not really taught. So the attempt is that by what we are going to do now in just a little while, we will be able to get guidance on how to strike that balance ourselves, because that balance is going to be different for each one of us. So that's the attempt. And I sincerely hope that my getting you up early in the morning on a Sunday, keeping you away from your families, is going to be worth it. It is my sincere effort that it is going to be worth it. And at least in my personal experience, I found it to be very, very valuable. So let us move to the presentation. Just give me a moment. So welcome to this workshop, Leading Self to Excellence, which is a part of AICTE training and learning program. This workshop is intended to help us to move from a mode of survival, a mode of existence where survival is the priority, to a mode of existence where significance, bring a life of significance is what we live. And this is the 7th session of this overall training. And it's the 4th session in the Leading Self series. Before we go into other stuff, it's very important to recap what we have done till now. So let us start with day 1. What did we do on day 1? Where did we start our journey from? Please.
Habit.
Habit. What is habit?
Habit is we show action, it will become character. No, we show thoughts, it will become action. We show action, it will become character.
Habit is knowledge, skills, and desire. That what we have to select to keep the balance.
So, yeah, thank you, Sutanjali. Let me just complete the poem that you had started. It goes something like this. What you sow, you sow thoughts, you reap an action. You sow actions, you reap a habit. You sow habit, you reap a character, and you sow a character and you reap a destiny. So yes, that is where habits are extremely very powerful. But habits, as he rightly said, are at the intersection of skills, knowledge, and what is the third thing? Knowledge, skills, and
desire.
Independent will. Then after this, habit, the definition of habit or how to build a habit. Suppose we want to build any habit. See, these are the 7 habits that we are going to talk about in these 5 days. You want to build any other habit. Now you have the formula of how to build that habit. Am I right?
Yes.
So now, if we really want to build a habit, where should we put our energies in? What was the next thing that we talked about? Day 1.
Character building.
We talked about the character ethic. We said that our first energies should go into the roots of effectiveness, and they lie in the character. People may not see it evidently, but it is due to character that whatever we exhibit to the world shines. We looked at the example of the big mango tree and how the biggest mango tree is the biggest mango tree simply because it has deep roots, so that it could weather all kind of storms, it could weather anything, and it could still stay strong and continue to grow. Great. What was it that we did after the character ethic?
paradigm shifting.
We talked about the see do get cycle and the do get cycle. We talked about paradigms and paradigm shifts. What did we do after that?
Principle versus values.
We talked about principles versus values. And how did we differentiate principles from values?
Principle, that is something is very universal, and values which we adopt as per the surrounding and all.
Subjective and objective.
Yeah, subjective and objective.
So principles are objective. They are universal. They are timeless. And they are at work whether we believe in them or not. For example, what is the principle of the law of harvest? Or what you sow, so shall you reap. Is it not? Can you reap something without sowing it?
Obviously not.
Obviously not. See, it was so obvious you cannot even imagine. So that is what principles are. Unless you sow, how will you reap? So unless you think about the habits, unless you think about changing the way you are living, unless you're open to learning, unless you're open to change your paradigms, these are the first things. Only when you are able to change your paradigm, only when you do all those things, do you come into the zone of building a new habit. So what you sow, so shall you reap. That is one of the principles that we looked at. Another principle is, for example, what is called as the law of harvest. If a crop takes 5 months to grow, can you harvest it before 5 months? Will you get a good crop if you try to harvest it before 5 months? If it takes 5 months to grow, can you change it?
No.
Similarly, much closer to us, why think about crops? Human beings. When we give birth to a child, the gestation period of a normal birth is around 9 months, 39 weeks. So, okay, today medical science has evolved where we say that we can save children who are prematurely born. So we have medical science to support something. But if any one of us has had a premature child, we understand what crisis we go through when such a thing happens. We are always so joyful when things happen on time, is it not? Do you want to have a childbirth in 7th month? No. All of us want, no, 9 months. 9 months is fine. Later than 9 months, we are worried. Earlier than 9 months, again, we are worried. But 9 months, yeah, that is what we want. So when we know that anything meaningful in life, we need to be patient. We need to wait for it to happen to us. Then for so many other things, for example, for this notion of success, getting money fast, or getting promotion fast, or getting anything, so many things, we just run after it so that we get it fast. And then if we do not get it, we get frustrated. So until we put the required time, energy, effort, and are involved in the way it is required, the fruit will not be there. You will not be able to harvest whatever you have tried to sow. Am I right? So that is the principle. That is the law of harvest. So what did we do after the concept of principles?
Effectiveness and efficiency we discuss about.
Yes, we looked at efficiency and effectiveness, the difference between them. And then as we looked at that, we also talked about production and production capability. So what is production capability?
Production capability is something which anything you are doing, you have to do with the effectiveness. Basically, the 4 things that we have discussed for this, that you should have your better health, your mind or mental frame, relationship, and your inner peace. So if you are aligned with these things, you will get a better production, as well as you will be much more effective and productive.
Yes. Thank you, Vishal, for offering this description. So we talked that effectiveness is about not only getting the desired results, but actually getting the desired results in such a way that in future these results only improve. So that is what is effectiveness. And how do we do that? We looked at the story of the goose that laid the golden egg. And we said that when we want to have golden eggs, when we want to have results, when we want to produce something, it is extremely important that we take care of the goose that lays the eggs. And for us, then we agreed that the goose are these 4 dimensions of our lives: our body, our mind, our heart, that is relationships, and our spirit, the inner being, the joy that lies within. Then what did we do after production and production capability on day 1? How did we end the day 1?
We discussed
lowest
about
maturity to highest maturity, some mental map.
Private to
Habit
public
1,
victory.
habit 2.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we talked
discussed
about
maturity
maturity,
continuum.
maturity continuum.
Maturity evaluation. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so all of us remember this. We talked about maturity continuum. We talked about how private victory precedes public victory. How private victory has to happen before we think of public victory. How we have to become a leader of self before we even think of leading others. And that is why, even in this workshop, we are talking primarily about leading self first. See, this is the 3rd day of the workshop and we're still talking about leading self. We're not even talking about leading others. The title is Leading Self to Excellence. Because once we lead ourselves, once we start to lead our lives well, automatically we will be, others will be inspired to follow us. As others get inspired to follow us, we naturally become leaders. Nothing else is required. Is anything else required? So then we ended the day 1 with the idea of maturity continuum, and that private victory will precede public victory. We talked about the concepts of dependence, independence, and interdependence. And then yesterday, after the recap and the quiz, we realized that there was some concept of codependence also, which was there, which we did not really discuss in much detail. We did not discuss it in much detail because it's a paradigm of ineffectiveness. It is when people who are still dependent, who are still not independent in their own self, try to collaborate and they become codependent. So that was what it was when we talked about codependence yesterday. So then on day 2, that is yesterday, where did we start? After the quiz, etc. What did we do?
90-10 principle. It's 90% by our reaction we can control, and 10% we have no control. Pause and record.
Yeah.
We started with habit 1. That is procrastination should not be done.
Habit 1 was about being proactive. It is being proactive. What is the effective paradigm of being proactive?
I'm a product of my choices.
I'm a product of my choices. So the effective paradigm is I'm a product of my choices. And what is the ineffective paradigm?
So
everything happens because of something else.
Circumstances.
I'm a product of my circumstances. That is an ineffective paradigm. When we operate with a victim mentality. So once we did that, then we looked at the 90-10 principle and we talked about the first tool that we could use to become proactive. What was this first tool? 90-10 principle. What does this say?
Circle of influence.
Don't react, just respond.
Endowment.
According to.
It says that 90% of things in life are because of happen because of your response. You reacted. That is where life went the way it went. Only 10% of things were not in your control. The remaining 90% were in your control. And you can use that 90% effectively by creating a space between the stimuli and the response. So we saw that there was the stimuli coming, and as it came close, we realized, okay, and we went back. We created a space between the stimuli and the response. And in that space, we said that we would have what is called as In that
Freedom
space,
to choose.
we would have this freedom to choose. What all do we need, or what all do we need to have this freedom to choose? What are the human endowments that we talked about?
Basically, there were 6. First was self-awareness. Second was imagination. Third was conscience. And then fourth is independent will. And then you added 2 more, being resourceful. And then 6th is initiative.
So we said that there are 4 primary endowments, which each one of us has. They are self-awareness. Each one of us are aware of ourselves. To what extent, we do not know. Someone pricks a pin to us. It hurts. We are aware. Okay, we are aware of our body. Someone says something harsh to us. We feel hurt. Okay, we are aware of our mind and heart. And so we are aware. So that is self-awareness. Then there's imagination. We looked at the example where we saw that there are so many things we could imagine on how to help Seshu in this problem that he faced once earlier. Then we looked at conscience, where we said that now we choose according to our paradigm, according to the principles that we wish to align with, what our steps would be, what our action would be by using our conscience. And then we will follow it through by exhibiting perseverance, determination, will, everything. Whatever comes, now since I've chosen this path, I'm going on it. That doesn't mean I don't want to change it if new facts emerge. I'm tentative and open. But if there are no new facts, just there are some difficulties, I would still want to get my way around. So then we said that each one of us has these 4 primary endowments. Proactive people make use of 2 others. First, they choose to use these endowments. So they are resourceful and they take initiative to use these endowments. So they are resourceful and they take initiative for using these endowments when they do the pause and respond thing. What was the next thing that we discussed?
Right circles?
थोड़ा सा पहले.
Language, mind your language. Yeah.
Proactive language.
We talked about language. That many a times we do not even know that the language that we are ending up using is reactive in nature. Naturally, our response will be reactive. So we looked at so many examples of reactive language, and we saw that if we really want to be proactive, then we need to be alert about the words that we are using and how we are using them. Then we talked about circle of influence that so many of us are talking about. What is the circle of influence thing? Someone can explain?
When we focus on any circle, it will grow. So it is an influence or your concern. So it's up to you that how you want to take it.
So this concept talks about that in this life, in this world, in this, whatever we do, there are 2 things. There are 2 kinds of things.
Concerns and influences.
A set of things which we are concerned about, which impact us probably. Some things which do not impact us, but we are concerned about. Some things which we are concerned about because they impact us. And then there is a lesser set of things to which we can do something about. So the lesser set of things are the circle of influence. And whichever circle we focus on, that will grow. If we want to feel empowered, if we want to feel strong, if we want to be joyful, if we want to have a sense of accomplishment, we should focus on the circle of influence. Because then once we do that, by simply focusing on the circle of influence, we will have wins. And when we have wins, we will work on it with much more energy, much more enthusiasm, and we will bring out better success. Will bring out a bigger impact on whatever we want to do. So we talked about the circle of influence and circle of concern. There was one more thing that we talked about just after these circles. One more thing we talked about just after the circle of
center. The center. Yes. We discussed about the center.
Yes, we discussed about the center from which we get our security, from which we get our guidance, from which we get our sense of power, from which we get our sense of wisdom. And we discussed that people can operate from multiple centers. We discussed that people can operate from multiple centers, whereas, and each would have its own consequences. Effective people, proactive people will operate from the center of principles. And when we talk about life, then our life should be governed by the principle of, or by the constitution of our mission statement. And we said that we will be working on that today. So then after that, what did we do?
Concept related to transition person.
Yes, we talked about transition person also. We talked about transition person and we were talking about resourcefulness and initiative and making choices. We talked about Gandhi and we talked about Daulatdi and we talked about, people in our lives who have made a significant impact. They got something negative. They were rejected, or they were given a tough time, and they ensured that what they give forward was always positive and love and all that. So we talked about transition person. And then in the last session, we learned about these yoga tools. So how was your experience with the yoga tools? Were you able to do the practices? How many of you were able to do the
Yes.
practices? You can put a +1 in the chat window. They looked simple enough. They were simple enough, huh? And how many of us did those practices in the morning also today? Put a +10 in the chat window if you did the practices today also. Wow. So it means that they meant something to you. You felt good by doing those practices. Thank you. Oh, Malavika is saying I did some of the practices. So she's put +5. Good. Yeah. So in my personal experience, these practices are very, very powerful. Even though they are very simple, they're also very powerful. And then we also did that meditation on health. So if you do, that is a meditation to create good health in your system. So if you do that, I think it will help you to get into a good zone there. Okay. So with this recap done, so I see so many of you are just eager to attempt the quiz. So we will enter into the quiz just now. Okay. Now, one thing, see, the quiz is important. All of us know this. But when there is some discussion happening, it is most important that you be a part of that discussion. Don't get distracted by the quiz. Because you joined late, you are distracted. You're not able to benefit from whatever we are discussing. So try to join a few minutes in advance. You will at least benefit from whatever the discussion is happening. And the quiz link I will give you, don't worry about it. At least when the discussion is going, don't get distracted. I do not want to, like in the yesterday evening session, yoga session, what did I have to do? I had to shut down the chat. I had to mute everyone so that you don't ask for quiz when there is a third person there, when there is some yoga practices going and you are worried about quiz. Arre bhai, there is something much more meaningful there happening. Let us focus our energies there. Quiz you will get to do, don't worry. So if you are worried that you may miss the quiz, just join 2 minutes in advance. What's the big deal? So please don't fret about the quiz as much. It will come. I do not want to deprive you from the certificates of this training. Please, when I'm putting my 5 days into it, when I'm asking you to put your 5 days into it, my intent is not to deprive you of the certificate of this training. I want you to make best use of this session. So please be with the session. The quiz things will come. Even if at the end of the session you tell me I forgot, I joined a little late, I forgot to do the quiz, I will give you the link even then. Why do you worry? But be with the session. If you're not with the session, see, what did I do just now? I prepared you so that you can do the quiz better, is it not? That was what we were doing. So that now when you enter the quiz, you're able to do it fine. So why worry? Okay, so coming back to this. So this is the link for today's quiz. I will also copy paste it in the chat window. Just give me a moment. Okay. So as soon as you finish the quiz, again, it's a very short quiz. As soon as you finish it, please put a +1 in the chat window. Okay, so I see that a lot of us have completed the quiz. Let's move to the next part where we say that we move to habit 2. Is it okay? So habit 2 is begin with the end in mind. This is the habit of vision. So habit 2 is the habit of vision. What is habit 1? A habit of? Habit 1 is a habit of?
Proactive.
Twice.
So habit 1 is
Habit
a
of
habit of
choices.
choice. Habit 2 is the
Yeah.
habit of vision. So what does vision mean? What does vision mean?
What we want, how we want it to be in the future, near future or even long term, or what is the main
Vision is sight.
Yeah, if you look at the description or the meaning of vision in dictionary, one of the meanings is simple sight, being able to see. Is it not? So this habit is the habit of vision. What it means that you should see the end in mind before you even start doing anything. What does this mean?
We have to
Look
be
for the
very good planning, where you should be clear with the goal. What is your goal and what you want to achieve,
Okay. Have a
and how you
clarity
can
of
able
goal.
to plan. Yeah.
Yeah, have a clarity of goal before you start. Okay, great.
our end result should be in front of us, and we should be able to visualize our end result.
We should visualize our end result before we start. Okay, good.
Imagination of the things
Okay.
before we start.
Before we start, we should imagine what the outcome is. Menka?
Sir, first we have to think what we want, the result. Then according to result, we should start. Means we have to think about the resultant outcome. Then we have to.
So let us say that there is this newspaper guy who has to throw newspapers into the balcony of houses. He's just walking down the street and he's throwing newspapers to the balcony of houses who are subscribed with him. What does he need to do? He needs to first see, then aim, and then throw. Is it not? If he simply throws, is there a guarantee that the newspaper will go in the right balcony?
Yeah, and also it may hit in the flower part also sometimes if it is there.
Yeah, it may go anywhere.
Correct,
so
correct.
At least he should know where to send. Then okay, projectile misses here, there, somewhere, that's fine. But still, if he doesn't even visualize that the newspaper is going into that balcony, if he doesn't throw it in the right direction, will it ever go in the right balcony? No. So that is what this habit is about. That before we start to do anything, we should know what is it that we want to achieve from that action. So we begin with the end in mind. And that is the habit of vision. We visualize the outcome before we start any action. Now, final outcome may be better, maybe worse. That is a different thing. But at least we visualize and then we start. Okay. Then going to the see, do, get, access. What is the principle behind this? The principle behind this habit is that mental creation precedes physical creation. I have to visualize that when I throw this newspaper like this, it will physically go in that balcony. Because until I visualize mentally, I will not be able to decide how much force with which I should throw the newspaper. Is it not? Those of us who have played cricket, those of us who have played with basketball, anything, we look at the ring and then we say, okay, this is how I have to throw. That is when it will make a goal there. Is it not? So mental creation precedes physical creation. I have to visualize a goal happening. I have to visualize that point going up in my scoreboard, and only then it will go up. So what is the paradigm associated with it? The ineffective paradigm is I live by default. Jo hoga, hoga. We will go with the flow. We will see what happens. But the effective paradigm is I live by design. Now, at least I start to live by design, then I accept whatever outcome is. That is the effective paradigm. What it entails is that clearly envision the outcomes before you act and build and live your personal mission statement. And what do we get when we live a life like that? We get a clear sense of desired results, a meaning and sense of purpose in life, clear identification whether the outcome has been achieved or not. See, if you're not visualize the outcome, you simply start to work at the end of it, you will not even know if you achieved what you wanted to achieve, because you do not even know what you want to achieve when you started. And since now you have clarity of outcomes in mind, you can, change course, you can do something extra, you can seek help, whatever you can do if you sense that my outcome is not coming. And then as a result of you preempting, being proactively taking these actions so that the right outcome comes, the overall set of outcomes that you achieve improves. Any questions?
Anuj, how are we putting this build and live your personal mission statement?
Yeah. So building the personal mission statement we will do in this session itself. Living it we will do in the next session. Okay.
It's like, I think what this paradigm says is Sankalp says Srishti Banti hai, right? What you decide, you can achieve that.
Yes, it says that you have to first create something mentally. And only after you do that, you create something in the physical space, in the physical domain.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other ideas? Any other questions, doubts, anything?
So what if somebody is not so ambitious as to have a mission statement, if somebody is not having any professional or personal targets, is it a possibility?
Yes. For example, can we agree that everyone wants to lead a happy life, a joyful life? So you have to then mentally imagine that you are living joyfully, even 5 years hence, 10 years hence, and today, and tomorrow, and 1 month down the line. So mission statement is not about just a physical or professional or that kind of mission statement. What is important is you know what you want from your life. It is not about what anyone else expects from you. It is about you. What is it that you want from your life?
Sir, I have one thing to add on it.
Yes, Rajeshwari.
See, when we fix our mission statement, we should think what in my life, what makes me more happy or what makes me more lively. So if I can get the answer for that, probably my mission statement will become meaningful. And if I work in that particular perspective, my life will become very meaningful.
Yes, thank you, Rajeshwari, for adding this. Because whatever anyone else says, whatever anyone else does, that doesn't matter. What matters is what is important to me, what makes me joyful, what makes me live a happy and more fulfilled life. Isn't that all of us want? Whether we are working in, whether we are teaching students, whether we are, spending time with our family, whether we are working hard in our office, whatever we are doing, finally, whatever we do, we are doing it to be happy and joyful, na?
True.
Let us say you are working today. Why are you working? Someone would say, okay, I'm working because I want to earn something. Why do you want to earn? Oh, I have to take care of my family. Oh, why do you have to take care of your family? Oh, if I don't take care of them, then they will fall apart. Okay, but even then, why do you need to take care of them? Let them fall apart. No, if they fall apart, then I will feel bad. So if you will feel bad, then it means you're not working for money, you're not working for your family, you're working for feeling good yourself. Is it not? Whatever we are doing today, we are doing to feel happy and joyful within. Is it not? Hello?
Is it a responsibility?
So let me say, you drop this responsibility. You say, like Sangeeta is saying, care of family is my duty. See, care for family is your duty. This is a value. This is not a principle. Do you see this? This is a value. This is not a principle. You can decide to not take care of your family. You can just leave the house and go. If the family is so troublesome, you just leave the house and go. Then what happens? Oh no, then who will I talk to after I come back from work? Oh, so you want a family so that you are able to talk to someone when you come back from work. So you want to be happy when talking to someone. So again, we come to you want to be happy. That is why you are living with the family. Are you able to see this? Vanita?
Yes, I wanted to ask what is the difference between vision and mission? Like theoretically, I know the difference, but then is mission statement different from vision?
So vision is what you see, you know, you just close your eyes and you visualize. Now, this is what we will, this is the analogy we will understand over here for this session. You can get lots of semantic definitions and differences between the two. But for this session, let us simply say that vision is imagining and mission is putting that imagination into words, writing it down so that whenever you see those words again, you know, you can revisualize and then you are inspired and then you are enthusiastically pursuing that. So semantically, you can look in the dictionary, you will get the difference in definition. But for this session, for the purpose of this thing, we can assume this.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Atul, you want to say something?
Yeah, but for the personal value, which is more important, mission or vision? Like, for example, in the institutions, at the time of formation, or if you go for any accreditation, so definitely for institutes of A tier or B tier, we have to give the mission and vision. So mission is something, if this institute is meant for that, and vision after 5 years we want this kind of goal. But in personal life, it is more important. Means mission is coming under the umbrella of vision, or vision is coming under the umbrella of mission.
So you tell me, mission is why you exist.
Yeah, I think so.
Vision is what you will do in next 5 years.
Next 5 years, yeah.
So this is a habit of vision, but we are developing a mission statement. We are writing a constitution of why we exist. How do we characterize ourselves? And then we are doing it by looking into what we want to achieve in life, what we want to have in life. Because we are not simple organizations or things created by society somewhere, na?
Yeah,
we are human beings. Our growth, our development is in our hands. So whatever we visualize, we can decide to build ourselves like that. So while that visualizing, we are building a mission statement for us. Okay. Vishal?
Anuj, can I just add?
Yeah.
In my opinion, everyone has studies from some school, colleges. Now, when we enrolled ourselves in school, we were not very clear that what is the expectations from the school or the management. But the management has some vision, and after leaving the college also, still we are connected with their mission. So, and still we remember the mission and the vision of that management or the college. So vision, you can say, is the whole world of that college. Mission is the purpose till the time we were there, and we have inculcated the knowledge, skills, everything as part of the vision. So
yeah,
in my opinion, the vision is you can say more universal.
Yeah. So see, again, let me re-clarify. Mission is about why you exist. Why did we build the school in the first place? That is the mission. Vision is what is the result we want to achieve in next 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 50 years.
Some of that.
Okay. Rutu?
Yeah, very good morning. Yeah, very good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have a confusion. Sometimes we really don't know what makes us happy. One, because what happens is sometimes our happiness might not be the same for the people of significance to us. So then there is a collision of the phenomena of being happy. So if you could please share something more about this.
So the question is, at times we may not be clear as to what makes us happy. So, Rutu, I think that then requires us a little bit more of introspection. We just this why analysis. Why are you working? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? So then, you just reflect that when there is someone who means a lot to you, when he was sad, were you happy? You will get some answer. Now, when you reflect on that answer, you will see that for people who mean a lot to you, their happiness is your happiness. So when you do something for them, you're not actually doing something for them or for their happiness. You should realize that you're doing it for your happiness. Because if they were not happy, you were not happy there. So we as human beings, see, that is why we say that we are social beings. We as human beings, many a times derive our happiness also by giving something and making others happy. Is it not? Giving, we discussed, is one of the highest ways of contributing, or contributing to other people's lives is one way of creating joy within ourselves.
Excuse me, Anuj. I
Yes.
think she had a different query. What I understood was she was saying that it was a very it was pertinent question in the sense that she said that what made her happy did not make the ones she loved really happy. So does she then compromise on her happiness? Or for example, she wants to go out for an outing with her friends, but her family is not happy about it. And she has two options now. Either she leaves the house and they remain unhappy, and she enjoys and comes back and then tries to calm them. The other option is she doesn't go for her friend's trip, and she rather stays home and be repentant about it, and then but they are happy now. So maybe she's asking, how does she compromise, or then where does her mission statement then it's a kind of a work life balance, like you say, personal life and friends and family balance. So somewhere she
Okay. Thank you
does
for
the mission statement, I think, eventually will help sort that out. But her happiness, then how can she make others also happy and then stay happy herself also? Yes,
See,
that is what.
again, other people's happiness, let us realize, that was one thing that we were discussing yesterday, full day also.
Mhm.
Our happiness is not detrimental to what other people did to us. That is what is being proactive. We can choose to be happy and joyful, whatever be the external situation.
Mhm.
We discussed that yesterday. So when we take unnecessary burden of making everyone around us happy, then in fact what we are doing is we are depending our happiness too much on other people's happiness.
Exactly.
Then we are entering into that lowest part of maturity continuum where we are dependent on other people to be happy ourselves. Are you able to see this? So then at some point of time, when it is about, okay, so when I say that you have to make other people happy, or when you have to contribute to other people's lives, what we are looking at is that many a times we will feel joyful and happy only when we make others happy. Because or when we are doing something, we might many of us might have caught ourselves cribbing, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this. Why do you have to do this? Because my family expects me to do this. Okay, now let us just go deep into it. First, when I say I have to do this, the language is reactive. Do you realize this? Now let us say what could be the proactive language against I have to do this. We saw some examples yesterday.
Choose to do
I choose, I prefer.
I choose to do this. I prefer to do this. I want to do this. What does this require? This requires us to, sorry?
My will. And when I have given my will for it, so this is what you explained to me yesterday, that when I'm choosing something as an option, I will hold no regrets for it. So
Yes.
if I prefer to stay back and not to go for a picnic, then that was my chosen response. So why should I hold regrets against it?
Yes. है ना? So I think that is where we need to, that is where is the importance of being proactive lies. That is why being proactive precedes this habit. We need to be proactive. We need to choose our state of mind so that we are joyful within. Only when we are joyful within, we will be able to contribute something to anyone else's life. If we are not joyful within, then someone else's happiness will also not give us joy. Only when we are joyful and happy within, making others happy will have any meaning for us. Do you see that?
So till the time we don't understand that everything is our choice and we have chosen whatever we have chosen, we have to be now happy about it.
Yes. So you see, you can always imagine the consequences, no? We have this resource of imagination based on your history in some particular setting. Okay, if I do this, then I will benefit from this, but I can also imagine that there would be some this consequence which will come. And despite knowing this consequence, I choose to do this. Then that consequence will not bother you. It will not disturb you. You will be mentally prepared, or you will do some other action. You will take some other initiative so that that consequence doesn't happen, or that consequence is mitigated in some way. Are you able to see this?
Sir, I want to add one more thing. Basically, we need to have the key of our own happiness within ourselves. We should not give it to someone else, so that we will not expect others should do this so that I'll become happy.
Yeah, but Rajeshwari, you're absolutely right in that. But what I'm saying is, I may be joyful within, but when I see that people around me are suffering, people who really matter to me are suffering, are sad, then you would become sad, is it not?
True, very true, very true.
Now, it's still in the inner space, you're still joyful, but you are sad about them. You're concerned about them.
So in that particular case, how can we make it? Because there are certain things which is beyond our limit. Of course, that will make us sad. Whatever we say that we take the responsibility of our sources, but even if there is a negative result, by nature will become sad.
Yeah. So let us look at it like this. So if we say that we are joyful within, then out of that joy, I want to contribute to my family, to my friends, to my manager, to my principal. And out of that joy, I want to do something and make them happy. I do something. Now, whether they become happy after that or not, that is their choice. At least I am satisfied that I did something out of my joy. I could do whatever was in my circle of influence. I did that. Can we have that satisfaction?
Yes. Very true.
That much is in our control, our circle of influence. So we do just that. Now, whether the other person chooses to be happy or sad, see, the other person also knows you for such a long time, na, Rajeshwari?
Yes.
So even after all your best efforts, this person chooses to be upset, then let him or her be upset.
I can't help. Yeah.
Hai?
I should be satisfied with whatever I have done.
If you are,
to the extent possible.
Yes, if you have done your best, that is good enough.
Yeah.
Can you do anything more than your best?
Yeah.
Anuj, by best, you mean your actions are aligned with, again, the principles, right?
Yeah, whatever best you could do, you had just 10 minutes. Whatever best you could do in those 10 minutes, you did. Now, other person wanted 1 hour. You had only 10 minutes. You did whatever best you could do in those 10 minutes. At least you are satisfied.
Mr. Anuj, can I tell one story about this one?
Sir, excuse me.
Yeah.
Just a 1 minute story.
Yeah, Subramaniam, I have 2 people still with their hands up. Can we just cover them and then I will come to you? Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Surya, your hand is up. Any follow-up question there?
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to say that vision is possibly something that you envision for, say, 5 or maybe 10 years down the line, what you are targeting, and then, but the mission statement is the life goal of your life, the mission of your life. So can we say that is a one-liner statement that you have?
Yeah, let us not deduce that, Surya, just yet. We will see some examples of mission statements. I will show you some examples of mission statements towards the end. Let's not define that target yet. It could be one word also, just one phrase. It could be one big paragraph or a poem. It is yours.
Okay, and another thing that I wanted to know, see if everybody wants to be successful. I mean, everybody wants to be happy and successful. If I say in generic terms, there's no person on this earth who will say, I don't want to be happier. So everybody wants to be happy and successful. So can we say that mission statement is then the plan to get there, or define your happiness or success? What is, because, but everybody's definition of success and happiness is different maybe.
So rightly said, Surya. Everyone's definition of success is different. So what does that mean? That each one of us will have a different mission statement also. है ना? The importance of a mission statement is that whenever you are faced with any decision making, you will go back to your mission statement and derive your sense of guidance from that mission statement. This is what I am about. This is what I should do. Like Parvati's example we saw yesterday. She picked up that scorpion again and again because she said, my mission is to be kind, to be compassionate. So even if her hand was hurting, even if she was bleeding profusely, she still picked up that scorpion again and again and again until she saved it. That is what a mission does.
Thank you. Thank you, Anuj.
And when you are able to visualize that outcome, that kind of enthuses you, that kind of motivates you to live by your mission. Because you know, okay, there is an end result that I will get when I will live by my mission statement. That is what is the importance of vision also. Okay. Yes, Manvi.
Hello, Anuj.
Yes, Shanti.
Yes,
yeah.
Sir.
Shanti,
So according
Manveen,
to me,
Shanti. Manveen has her hand up for a little while. Can we just talk to her first and then you speak? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Manveen?
Thank you so much, Anuj. Actually, I just want to, I'm facing some personal issues right now, actually, in my family. So I want to discuss them. I found this platform to lower my burden of my heart as the topic is going on right now for the relations and the family for what we are doing. But I'm getting nothing. Basically, let us say I'm getting nothing. In as an appreciation, a word of appreciation, rather I'm getting criticized. Like for an example, I'm telling you one example, particular example. So I want to go to my parents' home, and the mother-in-law who lives in this house, she doesn't allow. Like, you have gone yesterday, so why are you going today? My parents are I mean to say, they are my parents, and there's nobody. My brother is outside, है ना? So no one is there to look around them, है ना? So what is I don't know. I don't know how to react to this situation. Well, I know this is quite personal, that what I am sharing over here, but actually I cannot actually focus on the other things. This only thing has occupied my full mind and body. The situation is very typical, like Indian typical situation.
Yeah. So thank you, Manveen, for sharing and I really want to thank you for posing that trust in this entire group. That what you share here will remain here, and that you can open your heart out. It really takes a lot of courage and trust to be able to open up so beautifully as you did. Manveen, what you are talking about is not really pertaining to the habit 2 just yet. It pertains more to habit 4 and habit 5.
Excuse me for interrupting, but there's one more thing in the situation, and that is the guilt complex. That also comes in.
Yeah. So we will just come to this. So Manveen, what you are asking for, we will definitely discuss that, but that comes tomorrow. Because okay, then we're looking at how to manage our relationships, how to lead others into a good way. So Abhi, today our focus continues to be ourselves, our interiority, how to be joyful within whatever be the external situations.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So would it be fine if we wait for one day and then review this thing tomorrow?
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank you so much.
So let's do that. Okay? We will definitely bring it up tomorrow, and we will start with the principles, Manveen. And then wherever you need a specific input, please feel free to share. And all of us, we are all together in this session. So we will see what could be the alternatives, what we could imagine, and we could look at what is the thing aligned to the principles that one can do. Because
Sure,
your
sir.
situation is not unique. As you rightly said, so many of us may be experiencing something so similar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, someone,
Yeah.
something that we want to do, but then our boss, our principal, our manager, our teacher, our PhD guide doesn't allow us to do that. And that is then completely taking us in all ways. It's taken us for a ride.
Whenever
So let's look
required,
at
sir.
that.
Yeah, whenever required, I can elaborate the case as well, for a
No.
case study, so that I can get the inputs, so that what is the right thing to do. Actually, I just want what is the right thing for me to do.
So the attempt is that in this session, we will build a constitution for ourselves. And that will tell us, Manveen, what is the right thing. What we will discuss is how to make that right thing a reality for us.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
So please be with this session and really be, see, for all of us, as candid and as open and as truthful we are in this session to ourselves. What we will do is we will write something for ourselves. Okay. As candid we are, the more we will take out of it. Okay. As deep we can go within ourselves and come up with our truth, more we will take back. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So Shanti, you wanted to say something? Subramaniam, you also wanted to add something?
Can I?
Just one story, just 1 minute only.
Yeah.
Less than 1 minute. One fellow was given the punishment by the king, and he is a very good person. He is going to be hanged within 1 hour. He listens to music from outside, and he asks, "I want to learn the music." Then the people, those who are in that guards, they say that within 1 hour you are going to be killed. Then what you will do? So for my satisfaction, I want to learn the music, and he will learn the music. That's only, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Subramaniam. Thank you for sharing.
Thank
So whatever time is left, whatever little we may have, we can still do something about being happy. That is what this does. Thank you,
Yes,
Subramaniam, for sharing.
Yes, Mr. Anuj, correct.
Yeah. Shanti?
Yes, sir. Hi, Anuj.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I just want to tell you means vision means our dream, and mission means the application, how to reach your vision. And to reach that, what are the principles, good principles, not the bad. So according to me, what good principles you are applying to reach your vision. So
Okay.
am I correct?
So, yeah, let me clarify this a bit. Vision is our vision, our dream of what we want to achieve. That is right. How to reach there is a plan. That will look in the next session. How to make it a reality. That will look in the next session. Mission is whenever you're walking on the path towards your vision, you face folks, you face two paths. How to choose? What will take you to your vision? So it has happened. You walk. A few of us must have gone for a jungle trail or some new path, some new routes. We must have taken some time. Has it happened that we reach a fork and it is difficult to decide here to go or where to go? Has it happened with us?
Yes.
So
yes.
the mission,
happening.
The mission tells us what is that we are, where our vision is, that is the direction, and this is the way I would want to reach that place. Mission helps us discern between this and that. Okay.
Yeah. Then what is the principles here?
The principle
So
is mental creation precedes physical creation. Okay. The principle is mental creation precedes physical creation. Unless you mentally create a blueprint of what you stand for, you will not be able to build that character within yourself. Unless you plan to reach a particular goal, unless you visualize a particular goal, you will not be able to achieve that goal. That is what the principle is. Is that okay?
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah. So now let us watch a short explanation of this habit. Begin with the end in mind in Stephen's words. Okay.
Begin with the end in mind is based on the principle that all things are created twice. There's a mental or first creation, and then a physical or second creation to all things. Habit 2 deals with the mental or first creation. Take the construction of a home, for example. You create it in every detail before you even hammer a nail into place. You try to get a very clear sense of what kind of house you want. If you want a family-centered home, you plan to put a family room where it would be a natural gathering place. You plan sliding doors and a patio for children to play outside. You work with ideas. You work with your mind until you get a clear image of what you want to build. Then you reduce it to blueprint and develop construction plans. All of this is done before the ground is even touched. If not, then in the second creation, the physical creation, you will have to make expensive changes that may double the cost of your home. You have to make sure that the blueprint, the first creation, is really what you want, that you've thought everything through. Then you put it into bricks and mortar. Each day you go to the construction shed and pull out the blueprint to get marching orders for the day. Basically, you begin with the end in mind. The same is true for each of us. As an individual, a family, or an organization, you can participate in the first creation by going through the process of developing a mission statement. You can create the blueprint from which to guide your life. If you are the programmer, write the program. Decide what you're going to do with the time, talent, and tools you have to work with. The best way to predict your future is to create it.
So Stephen says the best way to create your future is to create it. And the principle of this habit is mental creation precedes physical creation. So if you want to create the future that you want, you have to first visualize it. So if you want to create a character for yourself, you have to visualize your character first, is it not? You have to identify what you are. Only then you will behave in a particular way. Only then will you live a life of that character. So that is what this habit is about. This habit, in a sense, also talks about a change in paradigm. That is, whether you want to live by a clock or a compass. Whether you want to live by just a sense of time, that, okay, time is moving, or whether you're going to live just by this thing that, okay, I want to move only in this direction. Effective people use both clock and the compass to define their life. They have a kind of a time frame in mind, so they have a vision, and they have a compass. They have a mission. So mission defines which path to take, and clock tells you, okay, this is the time frame in which I want to reach this place. That is the vision. So with this thing,
Anuj, can you please explain one more time?
Okay, so let us say, okay, we will try to explain it right here in this example that comes on the next slide. Let us say you are on a jungle safari. You've been to a jungle safari? Anyone? Forget about jungle safari. You go to an amusement park. You must have been to some amusement park, some jungle safari, somewhere.
Yes.
Anyone who has not been to any amusement park, any jungle safari? Anyone?
Hyderabad Zoo Park.
Yeah. Anyone who has not gone anywhere, put a -1 in the chat window. Any unknown place you have not gone. So KPS, you're saying you have not gone to any unknown place till date. Wherever you have gone, you have always known those places. Vidya?
Yes, sir.
So you've not gone to any place which you are not aware of.
Yeah, I have not been. We'll usually plan, check in, then only we'll try to go. So amusement park also I have not been.
You go to a new city sometime? You visited some new city sometime?
Yeah, that happened.
So when you go to a new place, let us say a jungle safari or a new city or somewhere, you are given a map.
Nice.
Okay, you want to go to these 4-5 places which you want to visit.
Yeah.
You're usually on a trip, so you will say that, okay, I have to be here for 1 day or 2 days or 5 days, something like that.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yeah.
So that duration of 5 days in which you have to cover those 20 spots, that represents the clock, that duration. Okay, whether it's the amusement park, you're there for 1 day, you have to play those, work on those 10 rides. Whether it is a city where you are now visiting, you have to visit these 5 spots that you have listed for yourself, whatever, that represents the clock. And these 5 rides or these 5 places that you want to visit, they represent the compass. You could choose different rides and different cities than another friend of yours, is it not? Your friend may want to take some rides, you may want to take another set of rides. Some family comes, they choose one set of rides, your family goes, you choose another set of rides. That can happen.
Yeah.
Each one of us has a different character and a different sense of purpose. We are all in the same amusement park, but we are there for a different reason.
Yeah, got it.
And to define that is the compass. Okay, Seshu, does that help?
No, Anuj. I think first example looks better. Can you please explain me that?
Which example?
That you have just described in that picture.
The jungle safari.
Effective, effective people use both clock and compass.
So let us say that we will stay with this example only. We'll explain it a little more so that it will take us forward. So let us say that you went to this new place, whether it is a new city or a new or a jungle safari or something, and you what do you say? You identified that you want to do 10 things there. This is your life. You want to do 10 things in your life. That is your vision. So you mark those 10 things on the map, and then you have to move around that amusement park or move around that city, and you have this limited time there. What would you do? Would you go to point 1, then come back, then go to point 2, then come back, then go to point 3, then come back? Or you will try to find a route so that you go to point 2 first, then 1, then 3, then 5, so that you are able to cover everything within the desired time?
Yes, Anand.
So do you realize that we need this sense of what we want to do?
Yes.
That is the compass. And then there is also the sense of the sequence, or in what order we want to do, so that I'm able to finish everything in time.
Okay.
That is the clock. And effective people use both. If you're only using the clock, not using the compass, so then you will start in one way, and then by the time your total time finishes, because you only had the clock in mind, you're stopping at every ride. So there was some other ride that you wanted to do, that is, the time is no longer there. But if you only focus on the compass and not on the clock, then you may just do 3 rides, and again 2 rides are left because you did not plan your day properly. That can happen.
Yes, got it, Anuj.
So effective people would use both.
Yeah.
So habit 2 and habit 3 are therefore very closely linked. As we saw in the first statement itself, the actions we do, we build and live by the mission statement. So building it in habit 2, and we will be living it in habit 3. Okay. So let us say we went to this jungle safari, and we have some map with us. And in this map, what is the most important thing that you need to know? You need to know where you are at that given point of time. Is it not? Where you are, only then you will say, okay, I want to go here or there or wherever. This map will also tell you which different routes exist. Now someone comes to you and asks you, where do you want to go? If you do not have that sense of compass, what would you say? This happened with Alice in this Alice in Wonderland thing. Alice meets the cat and says, would you tell me please which way I ought to go from here? The cat says, it depends a good deal on where you want to get to. Alice says, I don't much care where. Then the cat says, then it doesn't matter which way you go. So if we ourselves do not have a sense of vision and mission, there is no way we can live a joyful and an effective life. Because then whichever way we go, there will be something that we might have left which we wanted to worry about, which we wanted to achieve. So the first thing is, if we want to go somewhere, we need to know where we are now. We need to know where I am on the map as of now. Where's that, if you have gone to a zoo, then where's the tiger? Where's that nearest water point? Because I may feel thirsty in between. Where's the food joint? Because I may feel hungry. I'm here for the entire day. I need to locate, I need to landscape, I need to find out where I am, what all I need to do, where are the penguins, where is the tiger, where is the giraffe. I want to see all of them. I need to locate them on the map, and then I build a route around them. But I need to locate what my interests are. And that is what this mission statement is about. So essentially what we are saying is, we want to know ourselves. When we want to live our lives, what we are saying is, the first step is to know ourselves. What is it that we want out of life? Is it not? So what we are saying then is that when I say I know myself, I know about my talents and my passions. What else would you say when you say I know myself? Or someone else? You say I know my friend. So one thing is, you know what his talents and passions are. What else? You would want to know what this person aspires to do. What is the potential that this person carries within himself or herself? Is it not? You would want to understand what is it that this person is afraid of? What are the challenges this person is facing? And now in this case, today, in this session, this person is us. What are our priorities in life? Who are our role models? What are our likes and dislikes? Only when I know all these things, only when I know what are my development areas, only when I know all these things, I would say I know someone or I know myself. Is it not? So that is what we are going to try to do just now. So we are entering on a journey to discover. And on this journey, what I want you to ask yourself, what I want you to ask yourself is, first thing, what are all the roles that you play? For example, you are playing the role of a son or a daughter. You may be playing the role of a spouse, son and a daughter-in-law, mother or a father-in-law, mother or a father yourself. You may be a responsible citizen. You may call yourself to be a responsible world citizen. You may be a team member, a team leader, a friend, a mentor, a mentee, a teacher. All those things you are playing in your life, is it not? In fact, that we are playing all these roles, that is what is pulling us in different directions. Is it not? We want to balance them. That is what we talk about, work-life balance. Are you with me? So I hope you have a pen and a paper with you. Please write down at least 7 roles. At least 7 roles, okay, that you play in your life. They could be one of these, they could be something else. At least 7 roles that you play in your life, which are important to you. Alamelu, you have a question?
Yeah, I already posted my questions actually during the previous slides. One thing I am not clear about that is in that SEEDO principle. Yeah, we were discussing about we brought in the mission inside that. So I want to know the relationship between the mission and the principle over here.
So the principle is everything is created twice. Mental creation precedes physical creation. That is the principle of this habit.
Okay.
Now, the mission is the mental creation of our character. Okay.
This seven roles. You want to know?
No, I don't want to know. You need to write down in your notebook.
Yeah, I've written them.
Yeah. So just write down those 7 roles. If there are more roles which you feel are important for you, write down those extra roles also. Okay. Once all of you have done that, put a +1 in the chat window. Once you've written those 7 roles, put a +1 in the chat window. And those, as you do it, as you put down those 7 roles, in front of those roles, list down a representative person. For example, you may say, I'm a father. So you may father to 2 children. You may want to write down name of one child or both the children there. Spouse, you may want to write down the name of your spouse there. Teacher, so you may want to write down the name of 1 or 2 students that you associate yourself with fondly. If you say your role is that of a volunteer, then you may want to write down the name of one of the beneficiaries that has benefited from your voluntary actions. So when you say responsible world citizen, again, you may write down some person who you think you are responsible for. It could be a rickshawala, whatever, So in front of these roles now, write down the name, exact name of the person who you would imagine when you say that, okay, I'm a father. So you imagining, and I say that, okay, who is associated with you in this role? Then who would you imagine? If someone has to comment on you as a father, who would that be? Write down that person's name. I want a specific name to be put there. Once you've done that, put a +5 in the chat window. For every role, identify a person and put a +5 in the chat window. +5 once you put all the names there, also there. So now, tell me one thing. How many of you put yourself as also a role that you play? If you did that, put a +10 in the chat window.
Sorry, sir. I'm not
Yes,
getting your question. Can you please repeat this?
Yeah, my last question is, how many of you put yourself as one of the roles that you play? You also play a role of yourself, right? You have some responsibility towards yourself.
Not mentioned. I actually forgot to mention my own self, right? That is very interesting exercise.
Yeah, please do that. Put that self also there. Write your name there.
Yes, sir. That I have done, sir.
Yeah, great. So now I see most of you have done it. So while a few of you are still writing, let us now
Mr. Anuj,
watch.
voice is very low from that end, I think.
I'm sorry?
Voice is very low.
Is my voice low for others also?
Yeah, I don't know whether my mobile
No, it's
fault or,
audible. No, it's audible. It's clear.
So Subramaniam, you may want to just pick up the volume of your system then.
Yeah, I put in the full volume only. Suddenly, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, just reconnect once. It could be a Zoom issue.
Okay, I'll leave and join again, sir.
Yeah, please. Okay. So I see most of us are done with this exercise. We've written our roles, important roles that we play, important responsibilities that we have in our lives, and we also have written our names of representative people in front of that. And even if we had not written self earlier, now all of us have written self also. Am I right? All of us have written self.
Yes.
So now we will watch a video and then we will go to the next step.
In your mind's eye, picture your 80th birthday. Picture the faces of your friends and family as they come to wish you well. All these people have come to honor you, to express their feelings, to toast a life well spent.
69, 77.
Imagine you are the person being honored, the subject of the speeches. What would you like the speaker to say about you, your life? What would you like them to say about your character and contributions? What achievements would you want them to remember? What impact would you like to have made in their lives?
Thank you so much for always being there for me and supporting me no matter what I did.
Paciência com as minhas travessuras, que hoje essas crianças, né, vó? Eu vou passar todo o ensinamento seu para os meus filhos, vó. Obrigado.
This is my beloved husband, whom I have loved for at least 70 years, even though we've been married 60 years. We met in elementary school. And it was love at first sight. And so,
思い起こすとね、やっぱり親父の後ろ姿いつも心の中にあって、それに励まされて今があるな、そういうふうに思います。
ありがとう。
お誕生日おめでとう。みんなからね。
なんだこれ。Start living today with that picture of your own 80th birthday party clearly in mind. In that picture, you will find your definition of true success. I have found that it is extremely helpful to write down what you truly desire inside a personal mission statement. In that written mission statement, you clarify for yourself what ends you serve, what you want to be, your character, what you want to do with your life, your contributions and achievements. Your mission statement is like a personal constitution. It's the basis for making major life-directing decisions, as well as smaller daily choices in the midst of all of the ups and downs of life. Mission statements come in all forms and shapes. It doesn't matter what form it's in, as long as it uniquely expresses you. Some come in the form of a poem or a collage of pictures. Some are long, others might be shorter. A mission statement is not something you write overnight. It may take several rewrites, but you don't let that stop you. Several years ago, I remember thinking deeply about my own mission statement, one that I had developed many, many years before. I was sitting alone on a beach at the end of a bicycle ride. I took out my mission statement and I really thought about it very, very deeply. It took several hours, but at the end, you can't imagine how I felt such a sense of clarity, such a sense of renewed commitment, and such a sense of exhilaration and freedom. Once again, I knew what my life was all about. Viktor Frankl says, we detect rather than invent our missions in life. I like that choice of words. Detect rather than invent. You see, defining our mission really requires thinking through our deepest desires, our dreams, our sense of responsibility, our most intimate and satisfying relationships. Our meaning comes from within, from down deep within ourselves. As the poet Mary Oliver asks, doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?
So this is what we want to work on now. We want to decide what we want to do with our one precious life that we have. So now that you have this list of 10, 7 to 10 people in front of you, imagine your 80th birthday now. The key people you have already identified. They are going to raise a toast for you. Now, what do they say for you? You just saw in this video, the son of this man was saying something, daughter-in-law was saying something, wife was saying something. So different roles, important roles. Imagine though they're all there on the table on your 80th birthday. If you've written your parents, imagine they're also there on your 80th birthday. And what are they saying about you on that day? So in front of each name now, or for each name now that you have written, write down that 1 line or 2 line tribute statement that they will speak for you on your 80th birthday. Once you do that for all, you then write down one goal linked to that particular person, that particular role, which you can achieve, which you can do, so that this tribute statement becomes a reality. One thing that you may want to do, and it could be 1 month later, it could be 1 year later, it could be 5 years down the line. But one thing that you would want to do for this person, so that whatever he or she, or whatever tribute you want to hear from him or her, becomes a reality. What would you do to make that tribute a reality? So once you've written down all the tribute statements, put a +2 in the chat window. Once you've written down all the goals also, put a +7 in the chat window. Surya, you have a question?
Yes, Anuj. Anuj, is it not contradictory in a way that on one hand you say whatever we are doing for ourselves, and on the other hand, right now you expect like what we are doing is for what the other person wants to see us as. Is it not that?
So see, first is we have identified roles of significance for us. Now what we are saying is, see, it is very important to at least know what others are expecting from us. Then whether we want to do it or not, that is a different thing. Are we trying to come up to
somebody's expectations? Am I trying to be the ideal XYZ? Like
what we are attempting to do over here, Surya, is we are attempting to see when I am in this role. See, anyway, I am to play these 7 roles. If I have to live this role fully, if I have to give my 100% to this role, if I have to really be considered as successful in this role, then what is that definition of success? That definition will come from the person with whom you are playing that role now.
Am I not creating a lot of stress on myself by saying that I want to be the perfect mother, daughter, so and so?
So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that yet. Just be with the process. We're not saying this is going to be your goal. We're just going through a process. This is not the end of it. This is the first step. We will do so many more things.
So I am not able to get you, I think. What my daughter wants me to be, or what I want to, what a mother I see myself to be, the best mother. So if I say that will my daughter be saying that she was a very loving mother, or am I she's paying a tribute to me saying that she was a great mother. Okay, so she was a very loving mother, for example. Okay, so and then what do I have to, one thing that I'll be doing so as to show my love to her?
Yes.
Okay, so basically,
look at your circle of influence. What can you do within your circle of influence to make that expectation a reality? Don't take stress. Whatever is in your circle of influence, you write that.
Is it my expectation from myself, or is it her expectation from me? I can't.
Okay.
There are two things. Yes.
So let us look at it like that.
I may just want to be loving to her, but she may be wanting me to be something, else.
Okay.
So,
We will come into this relationship aspect much more when we look at habits 4, 5, and 6. But for now, whatever you know, see these 7 roles that you have listed, they are of significance to you. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So in some way, you know these people.
Mm-hmm.
In
So
some
it's
way,
not
you
about
also have some
significance.
idea
I think
about
it's
their
more about
expectations.
I being a person who is to. So if I say who has to do these roles, rather can I say that I choose to do these roles. So in what manner I want to perform them.
Yeah,
Yes.
but whether you, okay, so let us look at it like this. Forget about just this role of son and daughter or mother and daughter or whatever. Let us look at this a different role. I think it will make it much more clearer.
Sir, you
Let
are
us
not
look at the
audible.
role of a manager and a subordinate. Now there is a subordinate, and he says, I have a relationship with the manager. And he says that now what we are saying is, what do you want your manager to say at the end of this year? Let us say during your appraisal. And then we say, what is it that you want to do so that statement that you want to hear from them becomes a reality. It is about you. What do you want to hear?
Is this activity is related to somehow from independence to interdependence?
No. We are still going from dependence to independence.
All right.
Okay. So it is about you, just about you. What is it that you want to hear? And what is in your circle of influence so that you can hear it?
Okay, and can we write 2 or 3 things also?
Yeah. Feel free. At least one.
Okay,
at least one. Okay. Vanita?
Yes, I just wanted to confirm over here that is it related to what you sow is what you reap? Like how I visualize myself at the age of 80. So what were the anticipations from me and what I have given to this world, and then what I would be getting in return at that time? How people are going to visualize me at that time is
People
exactly.
will not, so people will see you there. People will comment on you there. It is you who are visualizing your 80th birthday, Abhi. What is it that you want to hear from them? It is about you.
Yes.
It is not about them. Whether they say or not, it's still their choice. But what is it that you want to hear?
Okay.
Okay. It is still about you.
So is it not again then a race to be happy? I mean, to depending upon others for your happiness, for your mission.
So you're still working on your circle of influence only, na?
Mm-hmm.
You want to hear something. Whether they say or not is nothing. At least to be able to hear that, you want to focus on your circle of influence and do whatever you want, you can do over there. Now, whether they choose to be
Ultimately, the
happy.
expectations, right? Expectations.
I'm sorry, Sini?
Expectations.
Yeah, that's okay. But again, I'm not even talking about expectations, their expectations. That I'm saying just as what is it that you want to hear?
That means it's my expectations.
Yeah, it is your definition of when you are successful in that role. It is not their definition.
But there are people, Anuj, there are people who will not express, they will not be satisfied no matter what we will do in our role.
So don't worry about that.
Again, ultimately what happens, the expectations, we will not reach to the desired expectations, though we work as per our vision and mission.
We are not at 80 years yet, Sini. We are not at 80 years yet, na?
Yes.
We are at whatever we are. What we want to say is, when we are 80, this is what I want to hear.
Okay.
How and how, I don't know. What is in my circle of influence that I get to hear this? I do that. I list that. Do that, Vinay. I just list that as of now. Whether the outcome comes or not, is it in our hands? We were discussing yesterday also. That is not in our hands. What is in our hands is doing our action. So we are just, I want to hear this, and for that, this is one action that I can do. These are 2 actions I can do. Just list them down. Okay. Shanti?
Yeah, no, the same thing I just want to ask you, because expectation, we may expect 100, But when it comes to the reality, may not be happens.
So that is fine. At least you know what you expect. You want to hear this, that's okay. Outcome is there or not, you did whatever was in your circle of influence. That is what will matter later. Hai? At least you have a vision that I want to hear this from my son, from my daughter, whatever. You have a vision. It is a habit of vision. Okay, Menka?
Sir, the first point is clear. What do they say about you? But the second point, list one goal linked to each role. That is not clear to me. Means in that what we have to write?
One thing that you can do within your circle of influence so that whatever words you wanted to hear can become a reality. Suppose you say, like Surya gave the example, I want my daughter to say, I was a very loving mother. So what can she do so that she is or her daughter receives her as loving?
Okay. Right, means in second point, we have to write what we have to do for these people to whom we have identified.
Not necessarily for these people, maybe for you also. I want to.
Yeah, means including me also.
Yeah. No. Even, the person in question could be your daughter, but you are doing something within yourself, for yourself, so that your daughter praises you or your daughter says something that you wanted to hear. It could be that also.
Anuj,
right.
One more thing.
Yes,
Anuj, there is a general saying, so in order to avoid disappointments, you don't have to have your expectations. So that is another saying.
Yeah.
So when you have some expectation from others, if that doesn't happen, you'll be disappointed.
Yeah, you're not expecting anything from others, Mohan. You're just going within and reflecting. What is it that I want to hear from them? This is not an expectation from them. This is what you want to hear. You will hear it only when something happens.
So because I thought that the expectations and the aims are little different. So aim you can have anything. So when you aim for the sky, you will reach the treetop at least. So, but the expectation, in order to avoid disappointment, never have any expectation with others, especially.
That is very beautiful, Mohan. That is very beautiful. We are not setting expectations from others over here.
That's true.
We are not setting expectations from others over here. Mohan, you have your hand raised. You want to say something?
No, I already communicated. I think this is another Mohan.
Yeah. He has his hand raised. Kamalpreet, you want to say something?
Yeah, I was a little confused. I just wanted to discuss that reactive language. One of the pointers was saying I want to. So when you just mention I want to hear these, so it is again a form of expectation only. So over the years, then you will feel that when you're working with this mindset, if I am mentioning these goals, right, it's a kind of exercise right now we are doing.
Yeah.
So somehow we'll be building expectations, no?
Yeah.
Though it is giving meaning to our life, right?
Yes. Kamal, let us look at it. When we are looking in habit 2, we are visualizing some outcome. We are expecting that outcome. That is where we are visualizing it, na?
Right. Because for self-motivation, it is very important to have some.
We did that meditation yesterday. We were expecting good health. That is where we said, okay, we are now imagining good health.
Yes.
So there is an
in
expectation
other words,
built into this habit.
We can say, let us say that we can make it self-centered. We are aiming.
Self-centered is a very heavy word, Sini.
Getting more clarity about ourselves.
Yeah, let us just get clarity on what is it that we believe or what is it that we want to hear from this person who is so valuable to me. Is it not? Jitne bhi aapne, all those 7 or 8 names that you have written in your notebook, they are people who are very important to you. Is it not? That is why you listed them in those important roles. So we just want to see what is it that I want to hear from these important people when I'm at the, towards the fag end of my life. We do not even know about tomorrow. We do not even know about 1 hour later, but we're still imagining, okay, if it was 80 years, my 80th birthday, what is it that I would want to hear from them?
So right now I can take it that I'll be adding value to their lives, my loved ones and all. So by having this kind of vision, I'll be adding value and love and compassion, right?
See, it depends. Someone of us may say that I want my daughter to tell me that, oh, she's a very independent lady. She's been joyful throughout. Whenever I see her joyful. I see her
Alright.
happy.
Hmm.
And this inspires me. Now, is it that you have done something for your daughter? No, you've just been a beautiful human being.
Yes. Yes.
So
Right.
don't burden yourself with other people's expectations of you. Go
So
within and
ultimately,
see
it's
what
for
is it
us.
that you want to
Yes.
hear.
Yes. Yes.
So if you choose to burden yourself, you will burden yourself. Otherwise, just go within and imagine what you want to hear from people around you.
Anuj, can I say something?
Quite clear with this example. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Anuj, can I say something?
Yes, Mohan.
See, for my father's 80th birthday, we gave him a surprise party in a hotel. So for that party, I made a list of people, just like you have asked us to make a list. We made a list. So first was all the family members. That is myself, my sister, then his in-laws, and then a granddaughter. So granddaughter was staying in the US. She also came all the way for the party. Then we invited his employer, where he was employed earlier, and then other friends of his classmates. So the whole room was jam-packed. And we asked him to cut a ribbon. We got inspired by this one of those TV shows. So the light was off and he had to cut the ribbon. And when we on the light, all his friends, relatives, and everyone was there. And after that, each one, like you said, each person started telling about his experience with him. So now my father is a highly introvert person. He doesn't project himself, but by staying behind the scenes, he has helped a lot of people and made a lot of difference in their lives. So I never told him anything earlier, but this gave me a chance to make, I'm an architect and artist. So I made a painting for him. So I gave him this painting. My granddaughter, his granddaughter wrote a poem for him. So like that, each person in his own way conveyed the appreciation of this person. And then, this was exactly like what you are asking us to do now. It actually happened in my life. But
Thank you
if
for sharing.
tomorrow I do this, I don't think there would be many people who would, because it depends on how you have lived your whole life.
Yeah. So thank you, Mohan, for sharing this. And this is what I want you to imagine. Exactly. Okay.
Anuj, can I share something? Or can I
Yes.
say something, rather?
Yes, please.
Yes. So I was really confused what I want to hear from any of my friends or whatever, and what should I do for that. So then it just clicked. So I have written a friend's name. She's much younger than me, 10 years rather. So she considers me, and I think she'll tell that I am a sister to her and the worst critic and the best supporter. She will say. But now when I'm writing the goal, then I understood that probably I criticize her to some, let's say, larger extent rather. I scold her, I shout at her sometimes. Probably my goal will be be more supportive and showing them her positive sides rather than always criticizing her.
Yeah. So Malavika, probably now you may want to refresh and change what is the tribute statement she would give to you.
Yes.
Because the present tribute statement is based on what your relationship with her is today.
Yes.
As you went through this exercise, there is already a paradigm shift that has happened now. Is it not?
Yes.
You may want to hear something else on your 80th birthday now. So write that now.
Yes, that's what I think now if she has to say something about me, she'll say I criticize her as well as I support her. But I want to hear that she'll say that she always encouraged me and support.
Okay. So you write what you want to hear.
For my good things.
You write what you want to hear, and then you write a goal as to what will you do so that you get to hear that. You say that, okay, whenever I criticize her, I will give a good reason why I'm criticizing her. I will justify Why, how? So you will just do the same thing probably, but with one more statement there. I love you, therefore I am telling you this. Hai na? So then that will take you closer to your,
on her positive side.
yeah. Okay.
Even pointing to her negative points in a positive way, like using the proactive
So
language.
exactly. So that is the purpose of this exercise. Do you see that? That is the intent of this exercise, that we just reflect within ourselves as to what is it that we are doing to all the key people in our lives. What is it that we want to hear from them? Shabir?
Yes, I will explain in this one couplet. अपनी तरह सभी को सभी की तलाश थी, हम जिसके भी करीब गए दूर ही रहे. सो ऐसे आदमी, ये आदमी क्या करे? उसने तो हमेशा कभी सोचा ही नहीं, उसने तो जो सा काम था वो करता रहा बस. He never thought about it.
Yeah.
तो हम जिसके भी करीब गए दूर ही रहे.
That is fine, but see, there are these important people that you have in your life, Shabir.
Yeah.
Suppose, जैसा मोहन ने अभी बताया, Mohan mentioned about it.
Right.
Of his father.
Yeah, he had given the very good.
Imagine your loved ones are celebrating your 80th birthday. What is it that you want to hear on that 80th birthday? Just write that.
Yeah, because
दूरों के पास तो फर्क नहीं पड़ता. What is it that you want to hear? What will be music to your ears on your 80th birthday? Write that.
To be very frank, अभी हमने जैसे मैं लास्ट ईयर मेरे बच्चों ने मेरा बर्थडे मनाया था, उन्होंने बहुत कुछ कहा, लेकिन मैंने कभी ये सब चीजें सोचा ही नहीं था उनसे.
That's okay. Now imagine. Now think. Probably
उन्होंने मुझको सोचने पे मजबूर किया कि मैं इतना अच्छा आदमी था, या इतना, मेरे स्टूडेंट्स भी थे, बहुत सारे लोग थे, सभी तारीफ कर रहे थे, लेकिन मैंने कभी ऐसा सोचा नहीं. मैंने तो यही सोचा कि यस, ये मेरी ड्यूटी है, मेरा फर्ज है, मुझको ये लोगों के लिए करना है. That's it.
This was something we were discussing yesterday also, no? When we were talking about transition person.
Yeah.
That even despite negative patterns, they give out positivity.
Right.
And they think, oh, मैंने तो कुछ भी नहीं करा. So that's fine, great.
Yeah,
Just
today.
be with the process, Shabir. Just be with the process. Okay. Surya, you have a question?
So I'm
What was
still
your
a bit
question?
confused.
Yes, Surya?
See, so for example, my role as a mother, suppose I see myself as a mother who gives my daughter independence. Okay, so so I don't have to see what she's expecting from me at all.
No.
Okay.
You simply say, I want to hear from my daughter on my 80th birthday that my mom gave me the freedom to choose whatever I wanted to do.
Okay.
She was always there to support me in whatever my decision was.
Okay. So whatever I see myself as a mother, the best.
Yes, what you want to hear. What you want to hear.
Okay. And in case she says that my mother did not give me love and sufficient love or sufficient.
Do you want to hear that? Do you want to hear that?
I don't know.
So we are looking at what is it that you want to hear.
Maybe. So maybe she would say that she was not so protective. So if you give freedom, then maybe somewhere you don't give so much that caring element is little missing.
Yeah, you let them make mistakes. See, when you give people freedom, you let them make mistakes. But does that mean you don't care for them?
So you are not giving them so much, protection maybe.
You are not mollycoddling them. But you still care, is it not? Just touch your heart and tell, do you not care for your children? Not possible. You may not mollycoddle them because you want them to be strong.
Yes, not spoon feeding them. Yes.
Yes. So let the tribute statement from your daughter, as you would write it, should be something like that. My mother really made me an independent person. She let us make our decisions ourselves. She gave us strength by allowing us to even fail. So many of parents around us, you would have noticed, do not do not accept failure from their children. So as soon as there is even a chance of failure, they take over the reins and they do everything possible to avoid a failure. What does that do to the child? The child becomes dependent. Now the child doesn't really know what it takes to be a success, to succeed in a particular exam or anything. He or she cannot independently operate later. So let your daughter appreciate this aspect when you write that tribute statement from her.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So it is not about what she is expecting out of you. What is it that you want to hear? Okay. Vanita?
Yes. So I just wanted to query that when I write these tribute statements, then isn't it that I'm working on my circle of influence, that what I want to hear, I should be becoming like that, becoming eligible to hear that?
Yeah, let us say that. So you want to hear something and you're doing something in your circle of influence to make it a reality.
Yes.
Hannah?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So friends, it's 11:30 already, almost 11:30 already. I would want that we complete this question and then we continue with this life mission statement exercise after this 30-minute break. Can we make this break a little shorter if that is okay with you? Because I really do not want to miss the connect between this question and the subsequent questions.
Please don't make the break shorter because I have a lot of work to do in this.
Yeah,
Okay.
please let it be 30. It's not going to disconnect. Don't worry. We're all
Okay.
connected.
So
Yeah,
just
thank
be
you.
connected. That is what my intent is. Please be connected.
We'll do the exercise in our mind and write down, pen down fast. Don't worry.
Yeah. Please stay with this. Stay with this thought. Stay with this tribute. Stay with this thing. If you wish, you can continue to work for the next 30 minutes on this aspect. You don't need to do that, but if you wish. What is important is that once you come back, join 2 minutes in advance, 3 minutes in advance, review what you've written. You may want to edit it then, you may want to add to it then. But when we start next, we will directly start with the next question over here, not even the quiz. We'll go to the quiz later. Okay. So we'll meet here again at 12 noon, at 12 p.m. sharp. And we will directly start with the next question after this. Okay. So please be with this. I'm not even going to play music after this because I want you to stay connected with this thought. I have not concluded anything in this session yet. I want you to stay with this thought. We'll pick the threads from here now. Okay. See you in another half an hour. 12 p.m. sharp, we start.
Okay.
Okay. See you.
मन भी आता कॉन्फरन्स चालू ऑनलाइन काही नाही होते